But the fact that we sit back and do nothing and allow our circumstances to continue to get worse is no one's fault but our own. So in part 6 of The Minds Were Egyptians, I explained the origins of the Star of David. So the Star of David symbol was first used by the ancient Sumerians thousands of years ago. And then it was later used by Thutmose III, who is your biblical King David, hence the reason why they call this the Star of David. And thousands of years later, the Star of David symbol was still being used by the Moors in the year 1286. And as you can see, the Star of David symbol was used on their coins. And as I've explained in that video, the Star of David is not a Jewish symbol, and it's only been used by the Jewish people for a little over 100 years. So here we have one of the oldest images of the Black Native people in America. And you'll notice at the top it says Indian Moorland. So the term Indian means Indian, and Moorland was a term used in Europe for the Moors. So some of you might remember the artifacts in the Viking videos that I showed you guys. So artifacts in Europe that belonged to the Moors were called Moorland artifacts. So essentially this poster is showing you an Indian Moor. And you can look on the barrel that's standing next to the Indian, and you can see the Star of David symbol on the barrel. And of course I've shown you guys before in another video that the slave posters show Indian Moors, not African slaves from Africa, but Indian Moors. The same Indian Moors that were in America when white people arrived. So I want to end this video by explaining a few things about the two different types of Indians that were found in America. Because there were black people with nappy hair and dark skin, they were known as the Indian Moors, and this black race was known as the Moors in Europe and in the Middle East as well. And the Moors originally came from Kush, and their capital was called Meroe, hence the name Moor, after the Kushite capital of Meroe. So the Moors are Kushites. And Pumapunku has been dated to be 4,000 years old by some archaeologists. And if that's true, then that would mean that the Kushites were building H-block pyramids in South America before they built the H-block pyramids in Kush. And the other black race of Indians that were found in America upon the arrival of white people were the black race with straight hair. So if you look at the two women in the picture on the top left, these two women are from India. And the reason that white people actually called the natives in North America with straight hair, the reason they even called them Indians in the first place, was because they had already seen this race in India prior to coming to North America. So when they came to North America and they seen the same race in North America, they called them Indians, because they looked just like the inhabitants of India that they had seen prior. So this race can be found all over the world, especially in Asia, India most of all, Australia. The people known as the Aborigines of Australia belong to this race. And this race of black people with straight hair was present in North America upon the arrival of white people, as well as in South America. And when it comes to the mixed races of South America today, many of them have the mitochondrial DNA of this black race with straight hair. So there were two types of black Indians in America, one of them being the Moor with nappy hair, the other being the Australian/Indian race with straight hair. And the truth is that most black people in America are a combination of these two black races. Now when it comes to which black race actually ruled America, all of the evidence would indicate that the same black race of Moors that ruled Europe and Morocco also ruled America. And the proof of that is in the paper trail of the 500 treaties that the government made with the Indians of America. All of these treaties that were made with the Indians were coincidentally made at the very same time period that the Moors of Morocco were making treaties with the white races of Europe. And they are the same white races of Europe who invaded North America. So the same white races who were making treaties with the Indians in North America are the same white races who were making treaties with the Moors of Morocco. So it's apparent that white people were making treaties with the Moors in Europe as well as the Moors in America at the same time. So of course white people broke all of the treaties that they made with the Indian Moors in America, as well as breaking the treaties that they made with the Sultan of Morocco. And today the Sultan of Morocco is a white man. But it's obvious that the Moors of Morocco ruled America as well as Europe during the time of the treaties. This is why we see an Indian Moor in America with the Star of David symbol that was used by the Moors of Morocco.